Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you don't know my name is Albert, and my YouTube channel is all about cybersecurity, identity and access management, privilege access management, and also identity governance, right? So today this video is going to be a very short video, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my prediction for this year in the cybersecurity space when it comes to privilege access management, identity governance, identity access management. What you should expect in case you want to switch roles from a different field and want to come into cybersecurity. Maybe you want to go into something else, right? I have trained people who are accountants. I've trained people who are in the oil field, people who are in project management. I trained them to become IAM engineers. Some of them are working as Okta engineers. Some of them are also working as cybersecurity IAM engineers, focusing on Entra ID and other tools. So I have been studying the market for over a long time, and last year I really took my time to study the job market. And I can tell you that this year is going to be a little bit different as compared to last year. So I'm going to just give you some prediction for this year and what you should expect, and the path that you should take, just in case you want to switch, you want to switch roles and then enter cybersecurity, what you should do, right? So last year there were a lot of IAM roles in the job market. There were a lot of IAM roles in the job market, but I believe that this year too there's going to be a lot of IAM roles, but not as compared to last year. But this year there's going to be a lot of roles, a lot of job openings for IAM roles, IGA roles, PAM roles, and other cybersecurity roles, right? So I'm going to start with the IAM tools, and then the IGA tools, and the PAM tools, and what you should expect and what you should start studying. So I'll start with this for the first time. So this year there's going to be a lot of jobs in IAM, a lot of job openings in IAM, but there's going to be a lot more in the privilege access management field. So okay, I have to explain it for you to understand. So you see, when we talk about identity access management, it's a little bit different from privilege access management, but it's just that they are all under one umbrella, right? So we have identity access management, we have privilege access management, we have IGA. They all work hand in hand. I currently am training somebody in identity access management, focusing on Okta, and I remember she told me that she applied for a PAM role, but the company asked her whether she knows anything about identity access management, either Okta or Microsoft Entra ID or any of the IAM tools, and she said no. So she couldn't get a job because they wanted her to know IAM. And I know that, you know, I'm sure somebody will be like, but that doesn't make sense. So to be honest with you, the entrance to privilege access management is identity access management. If you want to get into PAM, you should know what an IAM is, right, before you go to PAM, because PAM has to do with systems. It has to do with systems permissions, account permissions, and a whole lot of stuff, right? Then we have IG. So this year, 2025, there's going to be a lot of job openings in the PAM, what do we call it, in the PAM space, privilege access management. And the number one tool that a lot of companies are going to start going in for is CyberArk. CyberArk is going to get a lot of, there's going to be a lot of companies that will be using CyberArk tools, and then Beyond Trust. So if you want to get into this, then you have to start studying CyberArk, to be honest with you. CyberArk has has three major certifications. They have the CyberArk Defender, the CyberArk Sentry. There's another one that I think the third one, I've forgotten the third one, but the major ones are three. Now the next role, or I would say the next space that I want to talk about is identity governance. So this year there's going to be a lot of companies looking for people who have experience when it comes to identity governance, right? Identity governance and administration. So that's the full meaning. So IGA simply means identity governance and administration. And there's going to be a lot of companies looking for IGA professionals, people who know how how to implement IGA policies, access request entitlements, and those kind of stuff for the organization. And whenever somebody wants an access to certain applications, you create entitlement, you create what we call an access packages, so that the users can request an applications, and then it has to go through what we call a reviewing or approver, right, for somebody to approve the access before those users can get access to the resources of the organization. So identity governance is this year is going to be really, really big in the IAM space, in the cybersecurity space. So if you want to get into identity access management, you want to get into IGA, then you have to start learning SailPoint. So SailPoint is one of the tools that a lot of companies are going to use for IGA. Microsoft Entra ID, I normally call it Azure AD. A lot of companies will be searching for people who have experience in Entra ID, and so you can reach out to somebody to train you. Normally, I prefer to train you one-on-one than to buy a course, because sometimes you can buy a course on LinkedIn and not on LinkedIn, LinkedIn or Udemy, and then when you begin to study those courses, you sometimes just feel like you just feel lazy. So like if you get somebody to train you, it's much better. So if you can get your hands on SailPoint or Okta, right, that's going to help you. But one thing is that if you want to get into the IGA space, you should also know a little bit about identity access management, right? Because sometimes if you go for an interview as an identity governance professional, they are going to ask you, do you know something about identity access management? What tool have you used in identity access management, right? So like I'm saying, all these things is going to start from PAM, then come to IG, then come to identity access management. Now, when it comes to identity access management, the number one tool that a lot of companies will be going in for this year is Ping Identity. And let me say it again. The number one tool that a lot of companies are going to use for the identity access management is Ping Identity. This is my predictions, right? So if you don't agree with me, fine, but I'm just predicting. So Ping Identity is going to be one of the major tools that a lot of companies will be looking for professional. Currently, we don't really have a lot of engineers, Ping Identity engineers in the market of ForgeRock Identity engineers. So just on the lookout. If you start studying Ping Identity, that's really going to help you a lot. Then the number two on the bill or on the board that I want to predict, the tool that a lot of companies are going to use, are going to go after, is SailPoint. A lot of companies will start using SailPoint, but I think that it will slow down a little bit, and then Okta will pick up. So the reason why, to be honest with you, a lot of companies would like to use Okta. I have been using Okta for so many years now. I am a certified Okta consultant. But I want to tell you that Okta is a very good product, but just that a lot of companies think that Okta is very, very expensive, right? So a lot of companies would like to go for a different option than to go for Okta. So the number one tool, as I said, in identity access management that a lot of companies are going for is going to be Ping Identity. The second one, sorry, I missed that. The second one is going to be Entra ID or Azure AD. Azure AD is going to be one of the toughest identity and access management tool in the world that a lot of companies will start using it, because a lot of companies are kind of Microsoft shop, right? So getting a Microsoft or getting an Entra ID is much easier. They can incorporate all their on-prem servers into Entra ID and make single sign-on more easier for people than getting a different single sign-on application to come in to connect with Microsoft product and then start paying for both, right? Because you have to pay for license for Entra ID, then also pay for license for either SailPoint or Okta or that kind of stuff. So sometimes some companies will just want to go for Microsoft and then start using it. Then SailPoint, then Okta will then come in. But one thing that I also want to talk about is that this year, if you start studying any SIEM tool, it's going to really help you a lot. Because 2025, a lot of companies are going to go in for SIEM tools. So SIEM tools like Splunk, Rapid7, Datadog, and that kind of stuff. If you start studying one of them, if you are an IM engineer and you're watching this video, I want to task you with this, right? This year, learn 2 tools, right? Before the year goes to an end, try as much as possible to learn at least 2 tools that is in cybersecurity, right? So if you already know some of the tools, at least try to get a SIEM tool also, like learn Splunk, right? I bought a course on I bought a course that I started studying on Splunk. Man, sometimes I just feel it's just, studying, but I've been keeping up, trying to finish the course and then get my hands. But I think I have just 2 hours to finish the course, and then that'll be it. I tell you, no company, my company is not using same Splunk, but I just want to study Splunk, because when I search the job market currently, most of the IAM tools that are coming, or most of the IAM positions that are coming, sometimes they require you to have some same experience. You know what I'm saying? So if you have the same skills, is not to become an administrator of a scheme tool or anything like that, but at least having the experience having the experience in one of the SIEM tools is going to really help you a lot. It would definitely put you up strong. So if, for example, like if I'm applying for a job, right, and I have my Okta consultant certification, I have my Splunk certified power user, I have my certified AWS security and AWS solution architect, and I also add let's say Entra, certified identity access management, and then other Microsoft certification to it. Like, it makes your resume a little bit heavy than somebody who got no experience in that. You know what I'm saying? So I would tell you that now the job market is kind of tight, right? So it's good to get the skills that you need, because now if a hiring manager is going to give you an opportunity for an interview, they're going to look at all the skills that you have. You know what I'm saying? So if you have some extra skills that they think that it will help them, then I'm telling you, I'm going to be honest, very, very honest with you. You are going to get the interview that you want, and then you're going to get a job. So learn some new tools, and I believe that is really, really going to help you this year. Start studying Ping Identity. For me, I already know Ping Identity, but just that I've not written the certification exam, but I know Ping Identity very well. I know one identity. I know SailPoint a little bit, but Okta and Azure AD is my field that I have been doing for so many years, and then also AWS, because I've been doing AWS for a while now, and I'm also a certified AWS solution architect and also AWS security specialist. So I know all those kind of tools. So that's why I'm briefing you. A lot of companies don't really go for AWS IAM; they'll go for either Entra ID, Okta, SailPoint. But when it comes to the IGA part of it, IGA, yes. And I think I forgot about this one too. So in IGA, you need to also start studying Savient, right? You need to start studying Savient and then SailPoint. When it comes to PAM, you have to also start studying CyberArk, Beyond Trust, and I think Delinea, so that, because when I was studying the job market, I realized that Savient for IGA is currently on the rise. A lot of companies have started using Savient, so you have to start studying Savient, and also Delinea. If you want to get into PAM space, when I studied the job market, I realized that companies are also looking for people who have experience in Delinea. So if you get a Delinea experience, not really the certification, but if you have the certification, it will really, really help you, and then put you up there. So my advice to you is that get CyberArk, get Okta, get Microsoft certifications experience, and then I'm telling you, you are good for the job market. This year, there's going to be a lot of layoffs too. There's going to be a lot of layoffs. So if you got these skills and you have these certifications, it will help you a lot, because a lot of people will try to get to a cybersecurity field with no coding. IAM, IGA, and PAM don't do coding and this kind of stuff. There's no coding. It's just click, and how you can think, right? You see, becoming an IAM engineer or IAM consultant or IGA engineer or PAM engineer, you need to think like a thief. You know what I'm saying? You need to think like something like a hacker, because at the end of the day, you are implementing security policies that will block that will block hackers from accessing the company's resources. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that this year there's going to be a lot of jobs in the market, but the competition is going to be very, very high. So one of the ways that can push you up there is if you have the skills, not only the skills, try to get a certification. For certification, I'm not going to explain much, but you don't really need a certification to get a job. But if you have it, it is way, way better. You know what I'm saying? It's better to have it than not to have it. And then you go for an interview and they were like, do you have the certification? No. And then you don't get a job. So this is my prediction for this year. Start studying Ping Identity, start studying Savient, start studying CyberArk, Beyond Trust also, and Delinear, and I think Okta. Yeah, so, study Okta. I still train people in Okta. I don't really train people in Entra ID or Azure AD unless somebody, sometimes somebody will play with me, for me to train them in Entra ID or Azure AD before I'll train them. But I don't really train people in Entra ID unless it's just somebody just play with me, and then I just train them, right? But like I told you, you need to really get to know Azure AD, because there's going to be a lot of jobs. I cannot show you the number of companies that have reached out to me with Microsoft Entra ID or Azure AD opportunities. I'm telling you, it's a lot. So, and also Ping Identity too, the same thing. So I just want to tell you that if you know these tools, it's really going to help you. And this year, if you don't have a job, you're going to get a job. So if you like this video, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel and like this video. Thank you.